because we're all broken. And if you've ever watched my content, you know why. I'm not going to go into that. So, since we're all broken, we need something, right? What can we do? How can we fix this? And so I gave 2 years for him to know that not only did I do my best, but he was trying to do his best. And so what it turned out to be, yeah, they're not willing to. And that's what I was just about to say. What it ended up being was everybody wanted to change but him. And so the decision had to be made. Was it worth it? And I lollygagged and prolonged, lollygagged. And so that's why I have that time that I can't get back. But my whole entire reasoning for staying was I didn't think I did my best in that one area. I didn't think that I did my best. That has been a staple. Even before I had ever read this book, knew anything about it. What had been a staple in my life, my parents, my grandparents, in school, in whatever you did you do your best? That was always the question. Did you do your best? Not, did you pass? Not, did you do good? Did you do your best? That was what mattered. So it was a staple in the household, and it just passed on. Did you do your best? I don't care that you got a C on the test as long as I know you did your best. And what we have to understand is our best, what we believe to be our best or the best, is not the same thing for the next person, right? Let's just speak educationally. For some people, doing your best is going through college, not to college, through college, right? At least a bachelor's degree. For some people, I need a master's degree. For some people, I need a doctorate, whichever kind, MD, PhD, right? So how do you others to understand that you mean the best? By telling them. So that was one of the other things that we talked about, to not make assumptions and to have communication. That was one of the other things. It's a part of the 4 agreements. To not make assumptions, have communications. So you actually have to converse that. You have to say that. You have to, I've seen people say I'm doing the best I can just in passing. They don't want to talk about it anymore. Well, I'm doing the best that I can. That's not convincing. And that, that's a problem, because I don't think you're doing the best you can, especially not even with the way you said it, right? So you have to have good, open communication, sound communication, so that when you say that you're doing your best, it is believable. And then you have to be ready to back it. When it came to my children in testing, my daughter never did bad. A student all the way through school, so I can't use her. But with my sons, my middle 2 boys, they would get bad grades sometimes. And we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. What happened? So it wasn't just I did my best. What did you do? What did your best look like? Because you can't tell me you had a science test and you didn't do any studying that you did your best. That's not going to match up. Your words have to match what you actually did. Your words saying I did my best has to match the actions. If it doesn't match, then naturally it's not truthful. It's not truthful. No worries. So make sure when you say that you did your best, that you actually tried and you actually did your best, because you may be challenged on that, right? You may be challenged on that. So you have to make sure that you actually did your best. So now let's get into what he really talked about with talking about the 4 Dang, that's a weird name. What he talked about when he talked about the 4 agreements was that we're living in a dream, right? We're living in a dream state, right? And it's one of 2 things with the dream state that we're living in. Either it's a dream that we're having, so it's like an illusion, or it's us being told how to feel, how to move, right? How to walk, how to talk. Programmed, right? A lot of us lived a lot of our lives programmed. If you have ever been a part of any organized religion, you were programmed, period. Just if you don't know, your kids pledging allegiance to the flag is programming them, right? These are things that program you. Television can program you. You can be programmed. And so if you're programmed, you're in a dream state, right? You're in a dream state. You're not really in reality. You're not living up to you and to who you are if you're living in that state. It says your world is made up of labels, concepts, and beliefs. Just talks about organized religion. Yep, programmed to believe what someone else wanted you to believe. And those are illusions. Labels, concepts, beliefs, they're illusions. So you're living in a dream. Break that cycle. You have to break that cycle. The dream has been programmed into you through words. It's like training you, like I said. Pledge allegiance, right? It's like training you. That gets in you. Remember we talked about being impeccable with your words and how your words have meaning? That is programming. These types never had a chance simply because they seek acceptance. They're the same ones indoctrinated. Absolutely. And it says here, words that come from your parents, your teachers, your religious leaders, your communities, your peers, right? How many of us grew up either having people that we could tell to do something or being the one that could be told to do something? I was a leader, so I was always telling people what to do, right? But how many of us have done things because of what the group was doing? And I'm not talking about in your woke life and in your woke being now, right now you too woke for that, right? Can't nobody pull that over on you right now. Go back to your teens. Go back to your early 20s. How many times have you did things just because the people that you were with was doing it? That's the influence that they had over you, right? We could even get into the crowd thing, right? Have you ever watched, and it's been proven so many times, if a crowd is running towards you, how many times without question you're going to turn and run with the crowd? Having never asked a question, not a single question, but because the crowd is running, you're running also. I've watched that happen, and it was a trick. Like 20, 30 people were in on it, and it was a trick. Just to show that this is what people do. You ever paid attention to mob mentality? You and I, we own this thing. Yeah, to mob mentality. That's what mob mentality is. It's mob mentality. Same concept. Same concept. So what we want is we want to be free thinkers. We want to be free thinkers, right? Oh, Lord. For real, for real. So, wake up. Wake up right now. I'm paying for a cruise. Don't like cruises. Family reunion. See? There you go. Because what? The whole family doing it, so you feel obligated to do it as well, even though you don't like cruises, and then you paying money to do it. I use a free example of just turning around and running because people were running. You're actually investing. You're investing in what you're doing. So with the wake up situation, but if the crowd is running, I'm probably gonna with the wake up situation, let's become enlightened. This part right here with this part, this is my own thoughts. These are my own words. You will never believe how much food consumption has to do with being enlightened. Check out, it was something written called Food for Your Mood, right? I want you to check that out, and How to Eat to Live. How to Eat to Live. Check those two things out about food. Hello, hey, how you doing? Check those things out about food. It will blow your mind. Healthy food intake can help you concentrate. You can concentrate better. You live better. You even feel lighter. You don't feel so sluggish, so tired all the time, right? Our bodies, you read it? Yeah. It's old. It's by Elijah Muhammad. Our bodies were not built to consume the chemicals in the medication and in the food that we're intaking. And sadly, most of the medication that's being taken is because of the food consumption. What you're consuming. A lot of food have carcinogenics in it. That causes cancer, right? There are so many deadly things in the food that we eat, to where the body that we live in, that came from the earth, the body that we live in, right? That should be able to intake the things that the earth provides to heal and to make nutritious our bodies. But because of what we're putting into our bodies, and I'm not talking about drugs and alcohol, that's another thing. Food-wise, real life, what's in the food that we eat? We have to put more chemicals in our body because we need to be. They don't make you cured. You know, they never say they cure you. They just make you as healthy as possible. They treat. So I can't say cured because medication is not to cure. It's to treat. Always know that. Always have that in mind. And if there's something that you're taking medication for that you can do something healthy to replace, that's what I did. I'm not a doctor, so I can't, I got to be careful with the things I say. But for me, I started doing vitamins. I have the Dr. Seavy's book, and I don't 100% do it. I won't lie to you and tell you that I do. I have Dr. Seavy's book. I started doing the smoothies and the shakes that are in that book, right? How we prepare. Yes, absolutely. I started even with what you prepare your food in, the dishes, the chemicals that are in the things that we utilize day to day. All those things work against us being natural. All those things work against us being natural, believe it or not. You beat the lotion that you put on your body. You absorb it. The makeup. So no, it's not just food, but food is one of the largest, the easiest ways that chemicals enter our bodies. Deadly chemicals. Sent you a page that lists all the social experiments which are under my... Yeah. I had to study. I didn't probably study exactly what you're talking about, but I had to study mob mentality when all this stuff broke out because I just couldn't understand what was going on, and I had never faced anything like that. So I really had to study mob mentality. Listen, these are non-stick coatings alone. Chemicals. It's all chemicals. Do you realize? My mother told me something years ago. Years ago, my mother told me something. She said, oh, there are 7. You probably know a few of them. Oh, you're talking about what we talking about? My mother told me something years ago. I'm sorry. Meat tenderizer. She was like, why would you put meat tenderizer on your food? If it tenderizes the meat, you don't think it tenderizes your gut? If you're going to eat meat that needs to be tenderized, tenderize it. Don't add nothing to it to do it. Do it naturally. And I never thought of that. And so I don't use meat tenderizer. I use a mallet naturally, or just cook it in the oven long enough. Things you don't think of, things that you just go on. And so I don't drink soda. I haven't drank soda in, what is this, in like 8 years. I don't drink soda at all. I'm sure that. Yeah. Don't. Absolutely don't. Be careful. Be mindful of what you put into your body. Be mindful. You'd be surprised. Your level of sweat, the smell of your sweat, all of that stuff would change. All of that stuff would change. Based on what you eat, based on what you drink, the things you put in